People from the neighbor's house have come out to be speaking loudly, to be audible in my ears so that I respond to them. I am doing my best to just ignore them. They do this pretense thing that I'm part of their household, the defamation thing. And then when they go out, as you can probably hear, they were speaking English just now. When they go about the community, they're telling people, their other friends and whatever neighbors, whoever associates with them, that I am part of their household or that I am their childminder or something. They spread all sorts of rumors against me. When they go into the town center, Zubair himself just said, Zubair, I'm opting out now. When they go to the town center, Zubair works for, he's a security guard, so he's got a network. He's got people who will be responding to whatever lies he'll be spreading about me. And it affects my business communications. So I'm not happy with this. Like, I have to wait for processes for him to be approached. Well, because he works in the NHS, he can influence other NHS workers against me, to influence people who work in like the mental health community, while his partner boasts that she sleeps with officers so she can control them. And so when I go and report issues like they've been breaking into my house, or they're threatening to break in if I go out, or things like that, they just do all sorts of things that are quite limiting to an individual. But I'm not afraid of them. I'm still going to do what I need to do when I need to do it. I'm just really upset that people can actually bow to whatever they say, that it actually affects me. By the time people change their minds or investigate things, I will still be dealing with the backlash of it. Things like bills. Like right now, the HMRC, I don't know how else to approach them. I've reported it on the .gov.uk website about what they did, hacking my computer, taking my information. I had a UTR number, and they shared it with some nurses. And these nurses, they did a self-assessment kind of approach thing to their to their career moves or whatever, using my UTR account. I can't even access it. The screen goes red when I try to put in my UTR number, and I'm getting brown envelopes. I've got about £2,000 that they're charging now. I don't know how else to reach HMRC. I don't have money. They expect me to start calling like the Citizen Bureau, Step Change, whatever, to start doing some sort of breakdown to pay stuff back. I've been living off compensation from a very bad car accident and some savings that I had when I was trading while I was on my career break. And it's totally unacceptable. I don't have to be doing all that. Just because they're getting away with it, because Zubair works in the NHS and has got a network. Right now, they send their children to do all sorts of things. Here we go. They keep their ball. Excuse me? Not on my patio, please. You've got all this space. You've got all this space. No. You've got all this space. I've said this to you before. It's totally unacceptable. See, they do this all the time. And I keep telling them, don't come to my space, please. I'm not a hostile person, but as a household, this is totally unacceptable. As a household, they do this to say that I'm part of their family or something. I'm not part of their family. I just know them, but this is unacceptable. This is my property. I've put this here on purpose so that they know they shouldn't be on my property. They take advantage because right now I'm alone. I used to get friends to come in, but they say all sorts of things to people so that people don't come to my house. This is me trying to like tidy up my crib. The other guy was in black at the end there. He boasts of being a hacker so that I can't, even when I'm trying to order things, they'll put extra things in my basket. You can see if I stand with someone when I didn't have access to the internet, having paid for the internet, they were doing all sorts of things to my phone. And that would be a guy will be saying, oh, we've hacked her. She's trying to fight a hacker. Things like that. Or you'll be standing with someone asking them to hotspot you. You go to the town center or outside to speak to random people. Please, could you hotspot me? Could you tether me? And you know, this with language barrier and everything, you're trying to explain what is tethering, what is hotspotting. Some people are kind, at least they will stop and help me. But can you imagine the nuisance it is to go to someone when you've got a whole contract with a whole business? And then when you go to speak to these business people, it's like they don't understand you. Sometimes they'll be boasting that Hannah has already gone ahead of her. They've already sent text messages to these business people. It was happening when I was on my career break looking for other opportunities. They would hack me. They would go before people where I've sent out applications. Sometimes you just find that they interfered. And you know, sometimes, yes, someone can forget and the email goes into the draft box. But no, they actually boast that they interfere with all my communication. It's actually quite upsetting. It took me a lot to get one police reference number from reporting these things. I don't normally have problems with the man who just came on my patio, but today I've just had an encounter with him. Last year, they were trying to convince him to be very harmful to me. And his mother was trying to take that step further to avoid him from being aggressive towards me. And they defamed me so badly. I think that's Henry, the one that they say is the Hindi guy, the one they call mentor. He's probably now stuck there for whatever reasons, whatever they do there. There's all sorts of defamation about them, which they also, actually it's not defamation because they've accepted those things they've been confessing that they're passing on sexual health diseases. By the time they lure people in and have sex with them and whatever, and they pass things over to each other, that's how they'll tell someone after that, after they've also indulged with someone else, that no, actually now you can't leave us because we'll get that person to report you because it's illegal. It's a criminal offense to be spreading sexual health diseases. So just in this last week, over the weekend, they were confirming, some of the women were saying, yes, we're being passed around. We're passing around each other in the house there. It's now become part of them. The guy in black has confessed that actually I'm not a Muslim, I'm a radicalist. I wrote down all their confessions. The day he confessed that he's a radicalist, I wrote down as much as I could remember. And he was even echoing some of the stuff. And I wrote down 8 pages, went to submit it to the police station. I don't know how long I should be waiting for that police reference. Confessions of inflicting voyeuristic and upscaling behavior towards me using technology. They need to be questioned. He needs to be questioned. He needs to answer how it's happening. I don't know. I'm not doing it to myself. They're the perpetrators. They know what they're doing in their house. It's totally unacceptable that I have to go through this. I've been holding my peace in here, getting on with what I was doing, trying to communicate with different businesses. I don't have to be dealing with the backlash of all these financial burdens. I've had to sign up to Universal Credit for someone who can make money online, and they'll be fighting me with their technology, interfering with all my communications and diverting the finances or just messing up with my logins so I get locked out. This is me trying to retrieve just my Facebook. Obviously, Meta is connected in so many ways. WhatsApp, Instagram. I can't even access my LinkedIn. My professional account, I can't access that. I've got admin and accounting experience. I was in the NHS too. And this guy has made it a point to mess up, log into my stuff, spread it out to other nurses. And I have to face the backlog of that, the backlash of everything. I paid £35 to get unlimited data package from giffgaff. It's a very convenient business that you can work with. You don't have to be calling them all the time. They respond to you quickly online. I'm having difficulty with conversations because he's so influential in such a negative way. People can't do their jobs properly. Just responding, a normal thing. They count the things that they have to speak to you about. If I so much as show that I remember something about my account, people start acting weird about me. Because he's done something. He's done something so evil around me, spreading those rumors. The mental health team came here and addressed me so aggressively. Fortunately, it took a few days too long for me though, and then they discharged me. I'm still waiting to get a discharge letter, something that should just be processed and is shared online. I'm still waiting. Fortunately, Pulse, I had to reach out to Pulse. I couldn't even get the communication from the ward I was in. I couldn't even just pass my mobile number and email address just for them to share it within their system so that they're all up to date and they know what I'm doing. And that was me just cooperating to clear my name because there's been so much false information. I have to be my own lawyer. I have to remember things that people have been accusing me of. That would be a guy. He'll be accusing me of trying to get into his relationship. Come on. There are about 8 people, even more maybe now, who live in that house. They'll be sharing their women in there. And they're saying that I'm trying to get into their relationship. When I have someone here, they'll try and lure that person to go somewhere else within the building. Totally unacceptable. And then sometimes they'll be proposing, walking around here, proposing marriage to me. No. Me, I'm not wayward. I do respect marriage. Apparently, some of these people are not even married. They're doing their thing. They're sharing each other. I respect marriage. I do want to be married. I want to be in a relationship. But these people will use their network and their hacking skills to be sending text messages. They surround the people I know and speak so many ill things, indirectly and directly. So I've had to submit an injunction against them to stay away from me. Perhaps I didn't mention this man's name. He came onto my patio. I need help to process this and to quickly action this. Never mind the thing about me being fun. And earlier on, I recorded, the ball was on my patio earlier on. They left it there for time. All I did was take a picture of it and I kicked it off the patio. They don't need to be on my patio. I'm not a hostile person. I'm actually a good person in the community. But they've twisted their words so much and approached the mental health team, the police, people who are supposed to protect people in the community. But those people have addressed me in such a hostile way. Can't even get proper representation. I had to represent myself in that place, in that mental health hospital. At least I got some confirmations, just asking questions from some of the solicitors. But to actually action something, it was so difficult. So difficult. If those doctors hadn't fine-combed through whatever information they had when they were presenting it to me, I could still be there trapped. Because they treat patients there a particular way. I'm not that kind of patient that they needed there. In fact, people like Zubia will be confessing that they're suicidal. When someone is suicidal, as someone who has experience in the NHS, you report it to someone because people who are suicidal can be self-destructive and harmful to other people. And these are questions they ask on a regular to people who are in crisis. So I had to share that information to safeguard myself against someone who can be threatening in the community and threatening to myself because I live right next door. And this man also, Zubian man himself threatened to break into my flat. I had to buy cameras very quickly. I had to buy cameras. There's no cameras on my property. I have to safeguard myself. Because me, I'm not trying to be aggressive and be fighting people and explaining things all the time. Unfortunately, today I caught this guy. He's not normally an aggressor, but he just walked onto my patio. Why? Even the child stood back. The child knows. When the ball comes in here, they kicked it in last time. I spoke to him gently but firmly. No, we don't do that because Zubia has been telling him, go and play there, make sure it goes onto the patio. But the day it came into my flat, I actually locked the door and said, no, we don't do that. And you know what? I'm not a danger to that child either. He cries when he thinks of the thought that somebody else from somewhere else. You see, they all know in there that the men in there have been proposing marriage to me. Even the child cries when he thinks that someone else from somewhere is going to be coming to marry me. And then the last time I had an ambush meeting after I was discharged from that hospital, Zubia himself confessed after an hour or two or something that he is the one who had sent the doctor and the other lady, she said her name is Katie, who took responsibility for that meeting. I'm getting tired of reporting these things. They're trying to make me socially isolated. It's really ridiculous, honestly. This really needs to be addressed. I've asked the police to come and dust for fingerprints on my door because some items went missing when I went on the 18th of August. I had to go and report. That was the day after the bill had been on the patio, and I had to go and show the policeman, the video. At 22 seconds, he actually says in that video, he was on the phone. He was saying to whoever he was speaking to, of course I was going to steal, because he was threatening to break into my flat. I hadn't got the cameras yet, and I've requested the cameras, the footage for this building, the ones that show onto my patio. Perhaps I'll be getting that footage or access somehow tomorrow, because I finally got a response that will send it to you in 2 days. No, this is not the way someone should be living. But yes, I have to address them, because when I keep quiet, they react so badly. They get even worse.